For our resume of the Eurosport Super Racing weekend, of course, we can't leave out Formula Renault. And the man who has won the first two races of the championship is Brazilian Augusto Farfus.
I was born Curitiba in Brazil, and at the 3rd of September, and I have 17 years old, and this is my second season on the Formula Renault Championship.
The young man from Brazil was in dominant form at Imola in the sunshine, and equally so at Brno in foul conditions. He really is a very formidable young talent.
In 92, I started with go-karts in Curitiba, and then I go to São Paulo and make the summer races. And in 98, I come in Europe to make races here in Europe.
Well, he's certainly making a name for himself in the manner of many previous Brazilians. What about his future?
I won the second races of the championship. Now we have again 8th race, but it was a good real start. And this is the work that we make in the winter tests.
Well, certainly he's looking strong for this year's championship, but his obvious target must be to be the next Brazilian Formula One sensation.
My dream is arrive in Formula One. It's hard. The road to Formula One is long and is hard, but I must try to see.
Doubtless his easy manner behind the wheel and in front of the microphone will serve him well as he progresses up the single-seater ladder. Round 3 of the Formula Renault Eurocup 2001 at Magny-Cours, and very wet conditions in qualifying. A damp track for the start. The first 8 rows of the grid staying with wet weather tyres, including the French pole sitter Julian Pressac. But further back, a number of drivers gambling on slicks. They had nothing to lose. If the weather improved, it would come to them. If not, they were well out of the points anyway. Richard Antonucci second on the grid, ahead of Augusto Farfus. Antonucci racing for Manor Motorsport in the British Championship, making his first Eurocup appearance here in, well, pretty British conditions, frankly, at Magny-Cours. Farfus giving the thumbs up, piste humide. It certainly was. Away they go, and the drivers at the back of the field will find in the early couple of laps that traction is very hard indeed to come by. Magny-Cours, a very slippery racetrack when damp, and inevitably with a closely packed field of young men, some have other ideas about how to get round the corners, not all of them successful. We lost 3 or 4 drivers in the first couple of corners, and there were half a dozen starting from the pit lane as well. Well, we lost a number of drivers, and included among those who were caught up in the first lap tangles was our championship leader, Augusto Farfus, winner of the first 2 races, not even surviving to the end of this one here at Magny-Cours.
Was the first lap. I don't know who, somebody touched me and broke my suspension. It's a race, but I was 4th, and it's a good result for my championship. But now I'm go out and I must see the race to see the championship.
Julian Pressac, the pole position man, still leading, but Richard Antonucci, the American driving for Manor Motorsport, who'd started on the outside of the front row, seemed to have a better handle on the Magny-Cours circuit in these conditions and took the lead. Ryan Briscoe, who started further down the pack on slicks, had already been passed by the man who started 25th. That number 42 machine was Bruno Spengler. And as he progressed on his slick tyres, eventually worried faces on the Manor Motorsport team showed that they knew that he would catch Antonucci and had a good chance of passing him. Antonucci on his tiring wet weather tyres held him off for as long as he could, but Spengler was clearly not to be held back. He'd already passed 24 cars from the grid start and dispensed with Antonucci with similar aplomb. An astonishing drive, despite the fact that his slick tyres in the end were the thing to have. At the beginning, passing all those cars in a busy pack, Spengler must have been driving like a genius. Victory then for Bruno Spengler against all odds. The gamble on slicks paid off. Ryan Briscoe third, also gambling on slick tyres. So Antonucci second on his first appearance here, and 3 junior drivers in the top 3 places.
It's my third race in Formula Renault. Last year I was driving go-kart, so it's the best thing. I'm so happy. Yeah.
When did you decide to go with slick tyres?
I decided during the 7 minutes that we were allowed to do a lap and go back to the pits. I make 1 lap with the rain tires, then 1 lap with the slick, and I choose the slick.
Well, good gambling by the young man. It takes him to 3rd position in the championship. Farfus didn't finish, but still leads.